Sharon, welcome to the office. It's always great to have you here as our chair, but also recognising that you're a grain and pig producer. So 2022, it's been a big year for agriculture, big years for farmers, good and bad. So I'd like to get some of your takes about what were the highlights for 2022.
Thanks, Kathleen. For me, some of the absolute highlights were expect the unexpected. It definitely was a year of that, and being able to adapt and respond as the situation calls. So one of the big things for me for 2022 was really around Japanese encephalitis and the outbreak that occurred in February, and how we all worked together to ensure that there were minimal impacts or as fewer impacts on pork producers, but also horse owners in Australia. Really important. I guess one of the great things, though, about 2022 was that we were all able to actually get together and meet face to face. So it was a very exciting time that the Biosecurity Symposium was held on the Gold Coast, and we had over 400 people actively involved in the symposium. What a great event it actually was. But then, of course, what everybody's been talking about has been foot and mouth disease, and as it moved into Indonesia, and how it really escalated and caused angst to producers in Australia. But what it also did is it really raised awareness amongst all Australians about the importance of biosecurity. And Animal Health Australia was there to actually capitalise on that and help support our members by doing some further work around the AusVet plan and other pre-response arrangements to ensure that we absolutely are prepared if a foot and mouth outbreak were to occur in Australia. We're also focused on improving and working off of the awareness that was built in the community by launching the Decade of Biosecurity. So really important to be engaging with people more broadly than only our members. Our members are absolutely important to us, but we need all Australians to be understanding biosecurity for the future. So Kathleen, that's some of the highlights from 2022 for me. I'd be really keen to hear from you. Looking at your crystal ball, what's in store for us all for 2023?
Oh, Sharon, do I wish I had a crystal ball. So last year, big year for everyone with COVID lockdowns. Moving into 2022, you've captured the highlights really for all of us. And I'd like to keep moving off that groundswell, where we've had an increase in awareness right across our agriculture and our communities around biosecurity. But one of the most important things I think we now need to do is what are we going to do with regard to practice change on biosecurity? How are we going to help our farmers, our community, our land, people who care for the land? How do we help them just do that one or two things around biosecurity, which will make an enormous difference, which will help build the strength and the resilience of our biosecurity system, whether you're protecting your farm border or it's the national borders. So the other thing we'll be looking at more is around surveillance. You mentioned Japanese encephalitis, the huge impact that's had on human health, but on our horse and pig producers as well. So what kind of things might we need to be doing differently around surveillance, given that we have climate change, climate variability, changes in our agricultural production systems, movement of different types of vectors. So we'll be having a closer look at that as well. The other thing that we'll be doing a lot more of course, and which our members and stakeholders love, is training. How can we be better prepared? How can I respond? What's my role in an emergency response? So we'll be focusing on those things a lot next year. The other big ticket item for us is the ADRA 5-year review. So the Emergency Animal Disease Response Agreement, big cornerstone to our emergency response arrangements. We've got all our members together. We've kicked off a very important review. We've received over 150 comments. Not all of those are related to EADRA, but they're things that we're taking a close look at and we'll be working with our members. And of course, the AusVet plan, our guide to what we would do in a response. We're going to look at how we fast-tracked the foot and mouth disease, AusVet plan review, the lumpy skin disease and the African swine fever. What lessons can we learn and how can we do it better? Because I know that a lot of our participants on those committees, whether they're government or industry members, they've been fighting on other fronts as well. Either it's natural disasters, floods, plant disease incursions, varroa mite in bees, and that's really stretching people's ability to provide input into these processes. There's the willingness there, but I am concerned about burnout. So we're going to have a closer look at how we can be doing these things better. And I'm sure you're going to join with me and remind everyone that just how important biosecurity is. And don't forget it while you're on your break. It's the small things that make a big difference. And we want to wish you a very, very happy, safe holidays and look forward to working with you in 2023.